Mr. Zuckerberg, does Facebook consider itself a neutral public forum?
Senator, we consider ourselves to be a platform for all ideas.
Let me ask the question again. Does Facebook consider itself to be a neutral public forum? And representatives of your company have given conflicting answers on this. Are you a First Amendment speaker expressing your views, or are you a neutral public forum allowing everyone to speak?
Senator, here's how we think about this. I don't believe that there is certain content that clearly we do not allow, right? Hate speech, terrorist content, nudity, anything that makes people feel unsafe in the community. From that perspective, that's why we generally try to refer to what we do as a platform for all ideas.
Let me try, just because the time is constrained. It's just a simple question. The predicate for Section 230 immunity under the CDA is that you are a neutral public forum. Do you consider yourself a neutral public forum, or are you engaged in political speech, which is your right under the First Amendment?
Well, Senator, our goal is certainly not to engage in political speech. I'm not that familiar with the specific legal language of the law that you speak to, so I would need to follow up with you on that. I'm just trying to lay out how broadly I think about this.
Well, Mr. Zuckerberg, I will say there are a great many Americans who I think are deeply concerned that Facebook and other tech companies are engaged in a pervasive pattern of bias and political censorship. There have been numerous instances with Facebook. In May of 2016, Gizmodo reported that Facebook had purposely and routinely suppressed conservative stories from trending news, including stories about CPAC, including stories about Mitt Romney, including stories about the Lois Lerner IRS scandal, including stories about Glenn Beck. In addition to that, Facebook has initially shut down the Chick-fil-A Appreciation Day page, has blocked a post of a Fox News reporter, has blocked over 24 Catholic pages, and most recently blocked Trump supporters Diamond and Silk's page with 1.2 million Facebook followers after determining their content and brand were, quote, unsafe to the community. To a great many Americans, that appears to be a pervasive pattern of political bias. Do you agree with that assessment?
Senator, let me say a few things about this. First, I understand where that concern is coming from because Facebook and the tech industry are located in Silicon Valley, which is an extremely left-leaning place. And this is actually a concern that I have and that I try to root out in the company, is making sure that we don't have any bias in the work that we do. And I think it is a fair concern that that people would at least wonder about.
Let me ask this question. Are you aware of any ad or page that has been taken down from Planned Parenthood?
Senator, I'm not, but let me just...
How about MoveOn.org?
Sorry?
How about MoveOn.org?
I'm not specifically aware of those.
How about any Democratic candidate for office?
I'm not specifically aware. I mean, I'm not sure.
In your testimony, you say that you have 15 to 20,000 people working on security and content review. Do you know the political orientation of those 15 to 20,000 people engaged in content review?
No, Senator. We do not generally ask people about their political orientation when they're joining the company.
So as CEO, have you ever made hiring or firing decisions based on political positions or what candidates they supported?
No.
Why was Palmer Luckey fired?
That is a specific personnel matter that seems like it would be inappropriate to
speak to. You just made a specific representation that you didn't make decisions based on political views.
Well, I can commit that it was not because of a political view.
Do you know of those 15 to 20,000 people engaged in content review, how many, if any, have ever supported financially a Republican candidate for office?
Senator, I do not know that.
Your testimony says it is not enough that we just connect people. We have to make sure those connections are positive. It says we have to make sure people aren't using their voice to hurt people or spread misinformation. We have a responsibility not just to build tools, to make sure those tools are used for good. Mr. Zuckerberg, do you feel it's your responsibility to assess users whether they are good and positive connections or ones that those 15 to 20,000 people deem unacceptable or deplorable?
Senator, you're asking about me personally?
Facebook.
Senator, I think that there are a number of things that we would all agree are clearly bad. Foreign interference in our elections, terrorism, self-harm.
I'm talking about censorship.
Well, I think that you would probably agree that we should remove terrorist propaganda from the service. So that I agree. I think is clearly bad activity that we want to get down, and we're generally proud of how well we do at that. Now, what I can say, and I do want to get this in before the end here, is that I am very committed to making sure that Facebook is a platform for all ideas. That is a very important founding principle of what we do. We're proud of the discourse and the different ideas that people can share on the service. And that is something that, as long as I'm running the company, I'm going to be committed to making sure is the case.
Oh my goodness. I'm not sure what's the best part, if there's a best part of that. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's a best part of everything. Let me cut this off. I'm gonna just do this. The only reason I've got my XSplit up right now is so that I could share that like that. So I'm gonna turn the XSplit right off. Excuse me. And you know, I want y'all to be able to see my semi-beautiful face. So here we go. So many things to say about what we just saw. I have to start out by reiterating what my brother Bollox has said. Behold, the king of the cucks live. I'm no fan of Twitter. I got on Twitter because of the Britisher and a couple other people. I stay on there because when I tweet out that I'm doing this, usually one or two people come by. Might seem like a small petty thing, but I mean, look, there's 5 of us here. It's nice to have more people. It's even nice to rope in them people that we don't see talking that do swing by because they see the link and they hear us speaking. They don't agree with nothing we say, maybe. And if they don't, good, because they're getting that other side. It's so important for us all to get every side of the argument that we can possibly get. I mean, that is paramount in life. We don't want to be getting partial information. We want to get all of the information that we can possibly get. He's king of the cucks. This other guy, what's this other freaking guy's name? I can never remember. He's got an easy name to remember too, but I never can. That Ted, Bill, what's his, from Twitter? Whatever his name is. He's a cuck too. I believe it's in the crawler on BNN. Make sure you tune in tonight. It's in the crawler. Cucks. They're cucks over Facebook. They're also cucks over at Twitter. Just as big, maybe bigger. Look, I told Facebook, and now when I say this, you're going to say, well, Ogre, look at you. Look at me. The numbers on these shirts are out of date. I was joking about calling them. You can call them. The business is still there. True Greens is still there. You could look it up even. You could. There's probably only one True Greens in the state of Michigan. My point being this. Yes, I show my face here on YouTube. No one knows my name. I don't think Bollox does. Maybe he does. Maybe he does. Common Senseguy knows my name. I hate to even admit that. And he knows my name is in, I told him one time, he did tell me his, and I'll be perfectly honest, I try to block that stuff out to the point to where I saw it the once I could go look and see what he typed if I ever needed to. And actually, I have a nice Christmas card from him with him and his wife on it, and their names are on it. I could look at that. The point being this, it's my privacy. This is my life. It's my information. And so you might see this as a duality. You know, you see the Ogre saying on one hand, I did this. Well, I was asked by Facebook to provide a photo ID because someone on the platform told them that I was not the name that I said I was. I don't know who on earth would have done that. I guess probably someone that doesn't like me that found out that I had become JT on Facebook. My real name, I'm never going to say it on this platform. My name is Gunther Smith. You can stick with that. You can call me Preacher. I prefer Ogre. All right. Picture ID. So I was like, no, I don't want to give you a picture ID. Even if I did, I would want to keep this name because I was carjacked 4 years ago, beaten, drug out of my car after I wrecked it with the guy in the car. His buddies trotted up there. I was hurt pretty bad. I smashed my face into the windshield, and the gentleman that was with me, he got hurt by me and by the accident. I bit a chunk out of his chest, and to make a long story short, he wasn't in the same shape I was in, even though he was hurt. But still, 2 dudes I could not see. The glass was in my eyes. I couldn't see, and for 15 minutes, blindly, I fought these people for my life. And I mean, it's needless to say, I didn't win. Well, I did win. I'm still alive. But if you'd have saw me that night, you'd have swore I didn't win, because the detective that was on the case, he looked me right, and I had to pry my eyes up. I said, I want to see you, sir, because of what he was going through at 3 o'clock in the morning for me. I had to pry my eyes open, even then, just hour and a half, 2 hours after it happened, because my face was swollen shut. And I could hardly breathe through my nose. I couldn't breathe through my nose, to be honest. They have vowed that they're going to get me, okay? That they have friends that are going to get me. They said they had connections in the Mexican mafia. I asked the prosecuting attorney, the district prosecuting attorney, and this particular detective if that was viable, because they hear all the stuff on the, you know, the phone. They gave me all the transcripts. Man, I don't know. It sounded it made me nervous enough that I'm never on my property unarmed. Never. You cannot catch me out on my property, on my acres here. It doesn't matter if I'm shoveling chicken shit, doesn't matter. There's no time that you see me outside on my property that I'm not armed. Now, if we leave the house, I do not go into town without Mrs. Ogre. And I don't have a concealed carry permit. I just won't get one. I maybe will when these boys get out of prison, or I may will. I don't know. Time will tell. But I don't have one now. And I don't go to town without Mrs. Ogre. She is constantly carrying her Sig Sauer P2380 and at least 3 extra magazines. And the one that she keeps in it has 7. And she can shoot that son of a bitch. And I don't, you know, women are women, and I don't always know her motivations and what Mrs. Ogre honestly thinks about me every single day. I don't know. I know one thing. If someone was trying to take my life, she'd kill them. She would kill them. There is no doubt about that. That little Irish girl, whew, I mean, she just verily is. Anyway, I don't want to get into all that because it, you know. So here it is. I asked them, I don't want my name. I'm not going to connect my name with this. I would like the platform. I do know a lot of people on here. Now, Facebook's different than Twitter. No one on Twitter knows me in real life. I don't have one. No one that knows me in the real world has my Twitter. I don't even tell them I've got it. No one. They had my Facebook, the people that I wanted to stay in contact that way and in chat, you know, do the face chat stuff, all that for free. I realize now there's Skype, there's all this. Anyway, no, we need you to connect your name. I said, listen, I am in danger for real. Sent them the transcripts, showed them that I was not joking. I wasn't just saying these things. I showed them these things. I showed them through my lawyer. And believe me, I'm not trying to brag, because their lawyer, if lawyers were cocks, my lawyer would be like this. And their lawyer would be, I ain't even got it. Their lawyer would be a fucking 30-foot long cock, 3 feet in diameter. You know what I mean? And so these things were presented to them. They said, we don't care. And here's Zuckerberg, king of the cucks, being treated like he's something special by all these senators, I'm sure, especially the Democratic. When they talk about the NRA, the NRA, the NRA, NRA's got blood on its hands. Fuck, they're tiny little organization, man. There's 5 million people belong to the NRA. They're small. Facebook? You gotta be shitting me. These people are masters of demonization, folks. Not even novices. Not practiced at it, not good at it, not okay at it, not better than you at it. They are masters. I mean, the list that Senator Cruz went down, he was like, well, about you shut down Chick-fil-A. Why would they shut down Chick-fil-A? They're vocal about not being for gay marriage. Well, you took off 48, 24 Catholic Facebook pages. Why would they do that? Catholics are anti-abortion. Well, you took down this, you took down that. Then he went to ask, have you ever taken anything from Planned Parenthood? No. Have you ever taken anything down from MoveOn.org? No. Have you ever taken anything down from any Democratic candidate for anything? No, when I'm saying no, don't let me misrepresent. He actually said, well, I can't really say that. I don't know. Have you ever fired anybody for political reasons? Well, no, never. Well, what about this Lucky? Well, that's an individual situation. Yes, and there's hundreds of individual situations where, just like the Google memo writer that said, hey, there's men and women are different. That's why there's difference. There's nothing to do with Google. He was actually defending Google, saying it's nothing to do with Google. They're not undiverse or very overly diverse. And here's why. Oh, you're fired. This needs to come to a fucking end, a screeching halt instantly. Zuckerberg lied to Ted Cruz's, Senator Cruz's face. And I don't care if it's lying Ted. I'll always call him lying Ted. I always say stop clock's right twice a day. And this time, buddy, he was one of them 2 times. I think he's right an awful lot more than that. He's just wasn't presidential material. Lied to his face. There is a penalty. We have a penalty for lying in a session of the Senate. It's called perjury. He perjured himself more than once. We're up against something that's so titanic. And when I say we, I'm sure I speak for Matt Barkley and Jensen Quinn, Magic Bollox, the voice of one Ireland. I'm sure I speak for these noble and stand-up gentlemen. I'm definitely speaking for myself. When I say we're up against a titanic, monolithic movement that is bound and determined to prove that you are a bigot, you are a racist, you are a sexist, you're Islamophobic, you're homophobic, you are so horrible, you are morally inept and should in no way be given any sort of platform in the world. Who makes these decisions? We see him, the king of the cucks. Mark Zuckerberg, king of the cucks. They asked him, I can't remember the senator. He's getting so many softballs, it's hard to watch. Another senator asked him, Mr. Zuckerberg, would you mind telling us here assembled the motel room you stayed at last night? Oh, you should have seen his face. If you haven't seen it, you should see his face. Looked like he was trying to shit out a hockey puck. Crosswise. Mr. Zuckerberg, would you mind telling us where you stayed in your motel last night? He's a multi-billionaire. He could easily get another room. He didn't even want to say the motel he stayed in the night that night. Not the one he was going to stay in. No, I don't want to tell you. Oh, well, Mr. Zuckerberg, what about, do you mind if we see everybody that you've messaged or that has messaged you for the last 2 months? He didn't ask for the body of just the list of, same look on his face, like he was trying to shit out a cactus. No, I wouldn't. No, I would never want to do that. He was like, well, what makes you think that anybody else would want that same thing done to them? What do you do with the information when somebody terminates their account? Oh, we delete it. And he thought that was it. Well, this senator, I think it was a different one. I watched so much of it. And this senator was like, you delete it, but you do sell their information. What do the people you sell the information to do when they delete their Facebook account? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Every single person on Facebook. I don't care if you're in Papua New Guinea, if you're in the Philippines, if you're in Kuala Lumpur, if you're in Tobago, or if you're in the British Virgin Islands, or if you're in merry old London, they've sold your information. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what demographic you're in. They've sold it. I'm not even sure they get any more for like a rich person or somebody from here. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe from the country. I don't know. But they've sold it right away. They don't wait. Right away. That's how you get all these freaking ads. I hate what they're doing to me because they're pressuring me. I go look at things that I have goals to get. I'm going to get either probably a set of Ludwig drums. I've had my Sunlights for a long, long time. They were vintage when I've got them, and I've had them since 1997, and they were vintage when I got them. And I'm looking at them. I want to get another set of drums. I want to get a really slick set, something nice. I was thinking about DW's, Ludwig's, or, possibly Mapex. So I'm looking at them. Now I can't go to Drudge Report. Right above there's like Mapex. And I it's not like, folks, I can't go buy the drum set tomorrow. But the reason I can go buy the drum set tomorrow is because I listen to Mrs. Ogre. I'm not going to take the credit for this. I'm not. I always joke about being a Jew. Yes, I won't spend money on a lot of things other people will, but if it's on myself, I really don't have much of a problem with that. I will. I mean, look around. I buy shit for myself. So I don't need the extra added pressure. And they don't look at this. I mean, Facebook said I had to use my name, even though I proved to them there were certain people that wanted to find out where I was and end my life. I'm not special. Lots of people are in the same situation. Not trying to say that I'm some kind of martyr, all right? I'm just telling you the truth. But it's okay, but because they want to protect people from hate speech. The dumb son of a bitch Zuckerberg couldn't even define hate speech. He's banding around new words, new phrases, and has no definition for them. What's the sense? The only language. Language is a set of sounds with an agreed upon meaning. That's the definition of language. So each sound that we make, each combination of sounds, each syllable connected to another syllable or single syllable that is a connection of sounds has to be defined. Remember them? What Bill Clinton? Well, you have to know what is. I can't do a Bill Clinton voice right off the bat. I can if I try, but I can't. They were debating the meaning of is. Look, man, Facebook is evil. If I was in the position of Hogg, I hate that kid, man. I really don't like him. He's a bastard bully. I'm gonna tell you what. If I had that kind of platform, I would call for everyone that I knew to boycott Facebook outright today. I wish that after this, Facebook was just dead in the United States, that they lost 7/8 of their people in the USA, gone, never to return. This guy, I can think of other people. Steve Jobs, man, he was great for our world. I did not believe in what he believed in. I didn't agree with a lot of his political stances. Same thing goes for, there's a few. I mean, I can name some others. Steve, the other guy, Steve from Apple that's shooting rockets up in the air. Elon Musk, he's a moron, but I mean, he does things for humanity. I'm not just going to sit here and say that Elon Musk is a blight on society. Zuckerberg is a blight on society. He's a drain. He shouldn't be killed, or unless he perjured himself, he shouldn't be imprisoned. And I don't really think people should go to prison for lying to Congress. All right. I'm not going to sit here and say that just because somebody that I don't like now did this. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that, suddenly I believe that if you lie to Congress, you should go to jail. I don't, they're people. I think you should be like, they should say, hey, now don't lie, and then move on. You found out the truth. If they lied, you couldn't publish the truth. And that should be what happens. He's a blight on humanity. He talks about protecting people from hate speech, harmful language, to make sure that people don't get hurt. He said it with words. Come on, man, raise your hand out there, my faithful few. For the voice of one, you look like you could take on 2 average men. You honest to God, dude. I don't know. You may be a pussy. You may not be tough. I don't know. But you look to me, looking at you, you're just not the kind of guy I can scrap myself. So I'm not some kind of chip on my shoulder dude that would see you at a bar and be like, I'm gonna go pick on that guy. As a matter of fact, I would look at you and go, no, you know what? I don't want to fight him unless I absolutely have to. Just don't want to do it. Has a word ever hurt you, mate? Has somebody ever said something to you and you went, oh man, my eye. That was one hell of a left adverb. Oh my goodness, that right adjective caught me right in the cheekbone. Boom, that predicate got me right on the chin. I think I'm going out. Woo! I just showed her yesterday, so everybody knows I'm not joking. My grandma sits right there and looks over me, my Meemaw, the meanest bitch under 5 feet that ever lived. Man, she was crazy. She was meaner than Satan's favorite imp. And she was the one that taught me the rhyme, sticks and stones may break your bones, but names will never hurt you. Then we got this Justin Trudeau, a true cuck himself, talking about sticks and stones may break my bones, but sometimes words can hurt you. You just destroyed the pathos of that wonderful little Tick Dolly Row nursery rhyme, you stupid, stupid fool. You don't go telling people, especially when they're young, you don't go telling people that words can hurt you. They cannot hurt you. I mean, I look at the Kumite, the morning Kumite. Look at these foolish fucking morons, man. Tonka Saw, failure, all these fools. I used to like Sinatra Says. Then I see him on the Kumite. A little drama's okay, right? We all like to have a little bit of something. But to have a little emblem on the corner of your stream that says, have you been affected harshly by internet blood sports, and leave a number to a suicide hotline? I'm sorry, folks, but these people, but here's the point. Do I think somebody should take them down? No. Yes, they go out of their way to try to make people feel so bad that they may commit suicide. That's not a joke. They may put that sign down there as a joke, but that's not a joke. These are the kind of people that I believe, like Tonka Saw, he probably had very few friends in high school. If he did, he didn't trust them. He has a problem with trust. These people, a lot of these people were either outcasts, or they were such in when they were young and they fell out and they're trying to get, there's something missing there. They're trying to get back in now. You see what I mean? There's something missing there. But do I think, Tonka Saw's YouTube channel should be taken down? No, go subscribe. I'm sub to him. The morning Kumite? No. To be perfectly fucking honest, man, as much as this kills me, but I'm going to be honest with you. Be perfectly honest, once in a while, I turn that shit on while I'm doing my work on my, on my cordless headies. Put on my cordless headphones when I'm doing my work around the farm. It just, Bluetooth is pretty strong, and I can get out by the chicken coop and I can still hear whatever while I'm working. I can plow the little back, my tennis court sized garden with my rototiller while I listen. Once in a while, I do. I don't want them taken down, because those words, I don't want to be harsh. All right. I don't want to be harsh. I don't want anyone to commit suicide. I don't want to bum anybody out. I really don't. I mean, that's my nature. Maybe people say I'm a cuck for that. I don't believe that. I don't. You can believe whatever you want. I don't believe that. I believe strength comes from helping someone feel better about themselves if they truly feel bad, not digging in, digging down. I tried to watch the thing, and that's why it's on my mind today. I just tried to watch the thing with Mundane Matt. These people, and I don't even like Mundane Matt. They're so odious. They've made me stick up for somebody I don't even care for. So I don't want anything to happen to them. I don't want them to be censored in any way, because words can't hurt you. A disconnected voice with a cartoon avatar speaking through a computer that you can choose to turn off and never listen to again cannot hurt you. Because I'll give you another example. Cognitive Thought, I never listened to his shit. He's I never listened to his shit. I can't stand the guy. Never listened to him. He's a piece of garbage. He's an idiot. And I don't want to just be ad hominem. He is ill-informed and takes a lot of what he kind of feels inside as rote. Let me put it honestly. So I'm not just ad hominem attacking the guy. So I never watch him. There's nothing redeeming. When I want my fix of internet blood sports, I go to the Kumite. I go to King Carl most of all. I love that guy. I could make the same argument about King Carl, man. A lot of his shows are just simply, all right. So what are we going to protect ourselves from? Diamond and fucking silk? Diamond and silk. That's what it's come down to. It's come down to Mark Zuckerberg protecting us from Chick-fil-A. Diamond and silk. Protecting us from people saying, maybe, if you have another option, you don't want to have a doctor go up in your vag cav with a pretty severe looking set of clamps, start tearing body parts off of the living baby that's, I'd say, whatever you want to call it, the living entity that's inside you right now. Has a heartbeat, has thoughts. Then pull it out, crush the head, suck it out. Maybe that's harsh the way I said it too. I don't know. But they say that it's harsh to tell young girls the truth. It's not. It's their motherly instinct. Listen, if you're female and you don't feel a tremendous amount of desire to protect your baby, you're atypical. You're an atypical female. We don't have to look any further than the natural world. A grizzly mama, a grizzly female that a year before a big bear would kick her ass and she wouldn't even dare. That male grizzly and one of his buddies won't come near her. And if they do, she will attack and win. Not just attack. They attack with such reckless abandon that they will drive off the biggest and foulest of bears. Dolphins, same. I mean, we could go down the list. Rats, for goodness sake. So you're atypical. It's wrong to say that. Look, and I'm getting off in the weeds a little bit because Zuckerberg wants to protect you from hearing me say the things that I just said. It's as simple as that, folks. How you doing, Mad Dodge Production? Memes of Destruction. Matt Barkley. We got some new people swinging by. I'm going to go. I'm going to play another tune here in about another 5 or 10 minutes. Take a little break. Come back and do one more. And then end with a tune because we do have Bollox News Network on tonight in just an hour and 18 minutes. And we really want you to swing by there. I need to be ready for it. I don't want to blow my voice right out here. I just want to remind you, look, as abhorrent as it is to me, when I see, that famous black girl with the big mirrored shades that Alex Jones, she was famous. She was a meme for a long time. It was like, I kill my babies. I love Satan, she said. I kill my babies. That's some weird stuff, man. But I don't want her censored. I'm going to tell you all the truth right now. I think abortion on demand should be illegal, period. You shouldn't have the option to go get an abortion on demand. Now, it should be okay if you can prove mental stress and trauma, and that could be any woman could do that. So in other words, what I believe is there should be a severe hoop to jump through. And if there was no physical problem, you just have to go and pay a psychiatrist or a psychologist to say, if they have this baby, they'll probably kill themselves. They'll have such bad postpartum and they're just not set up to, have an abortion. This abortion on demand, listen, Black males are still only 7% of the population. Black people are only 14% of this population because 50 to 51%, a la Margaret Sanger, are aborted, are killed before they have a chance to grow. Man, when I went to military school a little bit when I was young. I was a pretty rough kid. And I had a part, and I got good grades and everything. That was the problem, man. And we're like, something's got to give. So my parents sent me to a really nice place. I'm not going to say the name right now. Probably never. But in that place, it was broke up. This was back in the 80s, man. This was 86, 87, 88. Back then, I mean, there were in our cottage, there were 6 white kids, 1 Mexican, and 5 black kids. They kept it sparsed up and they inducted that way. They wouldn't, once any racial group was full, whatever it was, that was it. And they went by what the population was. It was plain and simple as that. Anyway, something's got to give here. Those black kids I knew, man, the best mathematician, and get ready for the name, the best mathematician was Monte Woods. He was something else, man. I think Darnell Watson was the second. Both of them were black as the ace of spades. I mean, they weren't even like light-skinned. They were black, purple. Fucking Monte was purple. Oh. I don't really use the N word that way, the way they do. Like, what up, my nigga? What are you doing, nigga? But they, you know, if I see these gentlemen to this day, my nigga, you know, I'm like, what's up, brother? And they always tease me about being a, you know, a member of the tribe because I'm Jewish. Anyway, I feel like I'm running out of steam a little bit on this because I don't understand taxing people and policing people's words and making it so you can't say this, you can't say that. Your words are dangerous. You're going to hurt somebody with what you say. Zuckerberg has lied to the Senate. You know, there's no doubt that I've seen there's a couple things he's just flat out lied about. He's been asked, especially, man, I tell you, Lying Ted, he really cornered that son of a bitch. Cornered him good. Hey, what up, motherfucker? Good to see you, Common Sense. I'm going to play a tune. I don't know if Common Sense wants to come on or if he even can. I ain't going to be here much longer. In fact, just forget it, mate. We're going to be on in a minute. I'm going to play this this tune right here. When that's over, I'm going to say my final word for this little session. And then I'm going to prepare myself for Bollox News Network tonight, man. You don't want to miss that. We're going to have a good time. Common Sense Guy, myself. I've got some directives for tonight. You know, I've got some things that was just suggested to me that we may do. So I've got to get ready and be mentally prepared. So as we get ready, I've got a real good song for y'all, man. It kind of fits in here. It's by Joe Walsh, and that's not the one you think. This is Joe Walsh, In the Eyes of the Confessor. Joe Walsh, The Confessor.
What you see is only on the surface. If you try to see from underneath. The measure of the depth can be deceiving. The bottom has a rocky reputation. You can feel it in the distance, the deeper down you stare. From up above, it's hard to see, but you know it when you're there. On the bottom, words are shallow. On the surface, talk is cheap. You can hardly judge the distance by the company you keep. In the eyes of the in the eyes of the confessor, there's no place you can hide. You can't hide from the eyes. Don't you even try. In the eyes of the confessor, you can't tell a lie. You cannot tell a lie. Strip you down to size, naked as the day that you were born. Naked as the day that you were born. Take out the drama, commas, the guilt and doubt and shame. What if step before we devils in the chain? The violence and aggression, within the self-lord, the jealousy and the hatred, the tempest and the storm, damn it all.
Man, I was so stoked yesterday. I thought that I was actually going to be able to play music and speak at the same time, play something, and I could hear my voice, but it was so quiet. Crank everything up. I think I'd have to go into Voice Meter and crank the actual, virtual knob, virtual knob. That's what it is too. Crank the virtual knob all the way up. Well, so now I've got to get ready to go. Thanks for everybody for coming by. By get ready to go, what I mean is I'm out of beer. If I got up now, I'd just be wasting your time. Make sure you check out BNN tonight, Bollox News Network. We will be on Bollox's channel. I will make a little promo for it probably before we go on. So be looking for that. I just want to say this. I trust you with a gun. I trust you with a car. I mean, why wouldn't I trust you with a gun? I trust you with freedom to say whatever it is that you want to say. I trust you with freedom of speech. I trust you to keep whatever you want in your house. So there's no reason for the Gestapo to just come in and take whatever, you know, you have and to look at it. In other words, I respect your right to be safe and secure against unreasonable searches and seizures. I could go right down the list. I believe in your right as a human being. I believe in your right as a human being. It's hard for me to say this. I had to think about it all day yesterday, all night last night, and today before to really get this out. I believe in your right in this modern age to use a platform such as YouTube without being censored. I don't think that people should be arbitrarily censored based on their political beliefs, i.e. diamond and silk. I don't believe that people like Common Senseguy should be just overlooked and overlooked. I'll go so far, I'm going to keep going. I don't believe that people like the Britisher should be overlooked and overlooked. I look at him, I look at the Common Senseguy. I don't know why Britisher doesn't have 150,000 subs and Common Senseguy doesn't have 40,000 by now. Well, it's because they don't like their politics. I mean, the guys do the same thing that I see other people getting, you know, these massive results on. Something's different. I don't. Let's come together as a community if possible. If possible, let's see if we can stick together, weather the storm, get through this thing, and kick Zuckerberg's ass. If you're on Facebook, I suggest highly that you cancel your account. Delete it. You do have 2 weeks to change your mind. I don't think you should, but you do have that time. With a week, they give you a chance to, you can bring it back up, even once you delete it. Still all there. Delete it. Tell your people that you know there, and if you've got 1,000 friends, as I did, you only know about 15 of them anyway. So tell those 15 people, look, I'm not here anymore. Here's where you can find me. I'll be on Gab, be on Discord. I've just went and checked my mail for the first time in about 2 weeks, and I noticed all these messages on Gab. I've got to go over Gab. Bollox is on Gab. I mean, the cool kids are on Gab. Twitter, Facebook, thing of the past. We need to sink those ships. Please, if you hear my voice, if I have any influence over you, delete your Facebook account. Tell them why when you delete it. Say Mark Zuckerberg lied in front of the Senate. He steals people's information. He doesn't delete information when people delete their accounts. He sells people's information for profit. He targets people that can't afford things vicariously through the ones he sells that information to, and they are pressured into spending more money than they should, as am I. We should all not only live within our means, we should know that we can support ourselves and we can take care of ourselves in perpetuity. In perpetuity, people. Don't expect the state to be there. It's worked out really nice for a lot of people, but I tell you, there's a lot of pensioners in the UK and a lot of pensioners here in the United States it's worked out really well for. I don't know about our generation, folks. Don't know. And if it works out good for us, hey, more power. Great. Maybe that means you can get that caravan, you know, I can get that big Winnebago. We can go travel our respective countries and live our golden years in golden glory. But each one of us, I've come to grips with, you know, it's not that the problem with alcohol for me, okay? And I'm not going to go, this has got to end. I've just realized I've got 1 minute left and I'm going to take probably 5. But one of the biggest problems with alcohol for me is money. It's terrible for my health. It can cause throat cancer, tongue cancer, mouth cancer, stomach cancer, all kinds of cancer, colon cancer, liver cancer, cirrhosis of the liver, pancreatic cancer, pancreatitis. It can cause diabetes, big contributor to. I go on and on and on and on and on. The medical bills from alcohol are staggering to the individual, let alone the nation. And I'm paying for it now. You notice the order I put those in too, because often people are smoking and they're like, "Oh man, these damn fags, you know, I paid £8 for this pack of fags." It's like, really? You're worried about the fucking 8 measly quid you paid for that pack of fags? You got to be shitting me. You know how much lung cancer costs? Woo. Remember, it's something to the effect of 95%. And look, I'm speaking as an American, and I have insurance, don't get me wrong, but you're costing society. I don't care who's causing, it's causing somebody. So if you're British right now, you're listening to be like, well, I get lung cancer, I fucking take it out. Whatever they can do what they can do for me. It's NHS. Forget that. It's somebody's paying. You're paying in tax. You paid in taxes. So to me, I think, well, you know, this beer has gone up, you know, and that's what I'm bitching about now. Beer's gone up. It's hard for me to get a 6-pack nowadays where I'm not paying $1 per beer. Oh, yeah, I know. And people are like, oh, you cheap bastard. Man, common sense guy, I'll tell you. Common sense guy, am I a cheap fuck? I do. I mean, people are like, oh, look, I wanted this, I wanted that. Now, once in a while, I get a taste for Corona. You see me drink them here, but how often? This is the cheapest shit they sell at the store. That's why I'm drinking it. I'm not a fan of Coors Light. No stock in their company. I'm drinking it because it's the cheapest shit on the shelf at the store. Point being, I didn't need the government to tell me that. And if I continue to do whatever I do, it's my business. If I die of cirrhosis of the liver, if I die of some kind of cancer, or if I live to be 90 and just drink up my extra money, doesn't matter. It's my business. We don't need Zuckerberg and Twat or any of these platforms that should be a public place where you can go and do whatever you want. Somebody can just block you or shut you off. They don't have to, you know, they don't have to look at you. Instead, we beg for the nanny state. We, meaning other people. So one more time, boycott Facebook. Go delete it right now. When we're done here, go leave here, delete that shit. Get rid of it. Be done with it. It's all over. Oh, air hole. You know what? I was really gassy the other day. I just looking at the last few comments here. Magic Bollox. If I was like the other day, I would give you an air hole because I'm not afraid to fart. But I feel like right now, if I tried to force it, it's too close to the real thing. If you know what I mean. You know, you don't want to try to like squeeze one out and it's like you shart like that. Along came Polly. What was that guy's name? Shot himself full of heroin and died in New York. Philip Seymour Hoffman. Philip Seymour Hoffman. Yeah. Oh, and the other day, I don't know if Maz is out there or not, but if he's not, I was thinking of the Diaz brothers, and I put it on the thing. All right, but so look, now this is it. This is really it, because I was getting off topic. I just wanted to have another bowl with y'all. This is fun. It's cathartic for me, just like Memes is always saying, Memes of Destruction. He's right. It's something that's good for my soul, man. You folks take the place of some kind of talk therapist that would cost me bloody $150 an hour out of my pocket. That's with my insurance, because it's like $500 an hour. And yes, I know, because I've been, I mean, who wouldn't? If you have a chance, listen, before I go, I'm going to take this SWAT, say one more thing. There's such a stigma around mental illness of any kind. And now they're talking about, oh, you got to have mental background checks before you have a firearm. So in other words, if you have PSTD, you can't have a firearm. So everybody coming back from Iraq that has PSTD, they just got back. Or what about the ones that are over there that are still fighting? There's a lot of people that are dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder and are in the fucking trenches, man, and dealing with it while they fight. They're going to take the gun away from them. So there's a stigma around it. So I would say, as I close, if you feel like you need help, reach out to someone. I've been in the field. Common Sense Guy is going into the field. I mean, did you suspect that I would be your average counselor? I've counseled people. It's the fullness of life that helps a counselor, not one-sided fuckery. So if you listen to the Common Sense Guy, who I would submit now is drastically different than me in a very similar way, and same with me, I'm drastically different than him in a similar kind of way. But you see, if you listen to me and you could kind of connect and you think, well, you know, if I had a counselor like that, it wouldn't be bad. Or if you kind of a Common Sense Guy, it wouldn't be too bad. Well, he's going to be a counselor in the UK. He's going to be. So if you have any issues, if there's something you're struggling with, don't wait. Go out, seek help. Make sure it's reputable. You know, just talk to your buddies at the pub. That's not the kind of help I'm talking about. I'm talking about go seek help from an unbiased third party that's qualified to listen to you, to understand when you're bullshitting even. I mean, a good counselor is not going to just buy into everything you tell them either. Sometimes what you hear may hurt. Sometimes it may feel good as silk sheets. So that said, folks, it's one of my next to Telford right now, and I'm glad I thought of that because I should mention it every time I'm on air. Next to Telford and the atrocity that's been taking place for 3 decades now. You know, it's right up there with one of the tragedies of life that so many people struggle with this thing and don't get help with it. So now, folks, make sure you tune into Bollox News Network. Thank you so much for coming by, Magic Bollox. Thank you so much for coming by in the chat, Common Sense Guy. Everybody else that's here today, man, Lord Quinn, of course, even though there's so many wrenches flying around in here, it's just because it's the bullshit channel. He is the man. If you ever was to fuck with him, you'd find out because I just undo your wrench and he'd have at you. Thanks, everybody. Memes of Destruction, Voice of One, Mad Dodge Productions, Matt Barkley. Oh, am I missing? I'm probably missing someone. If I am, it's not intentionally. And if you're upset with me, remember this. Forget everything else. But remember this. Be good to your friends. Be good to your family members. Be good to your loved ones. Be quick to say you're sorry. Be even quicker to accept an apology, especially when that thing your friend, your family member, your loved one has done seems to be so huge, you'll never be able to forget about it. Because constant viewers, Magic Bollox, Common Sense Guy, at a time you think not. Your friends, your family members, your loved ones, your life, and everything you know will depart from you. See you in church.